Hi, welcome to my channel. So I have a new equipment for my channel. Hopefully it will make my channel better. I am not done with my setup though. I just wanted to test out the microphone today. I am waiting for something like a desk and stuff to be shipped before I really finish my setup. And yeah, but I'm very excited for what I have planned for my channel. So definitely stay tuned. But we are here today to talk about Every Which Way. So this will not be my first Every Which Way video recently. I just finished my rewatch, and I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video. Maybe I don't remember. But I have a video planned for my relationship timeline. I know it's been a minute since I did one of my relationship timeline videos because those videos take so long and they can be exhausting sometimes. There's so much research, and then a lot of times they are really long to film, and then to edit is like hell. So I have been procrastinating really hard. But I finally finished my Every Which Way rewatch, so I will be filming my Maddie and Diego relationship timeline video soon-ish. Hopefully one of my next videos, to be honest. And then I can start research on another video, relationship timeline. Because I want to do Astrid and Hiccup and Piper and Leo. But both of those, there's a lot of content for them. Like, a lot. So I'm procrastinating really hard to get those two done. Because I don't want to. But anyways, moving on. This video is about Every Which Way. But it's going to be unanswered questions. And this actually came up because on Twitter, I have a Twitter account where I just talk about my favorite TV shows and movies. Characters, ships, friendships, everything. And I have a group chat of Maddie and Diego for people who love them. It's not very big because it's a very underrated show and underrated ship, unfortunately. But there is this one person in the chat that we are always talking about Maddie and Diego, always, and I love it. And it was actually her idea. We were talking about things that were like not answered, and then then she was like, "Hey, that could be a cool video idea, unanswered questions, because people do that about other shows." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a great idea!" So we just started listing off unanswered questions, and I think I got them all written down on my phone. So yeah. I'm very excited because when I started writing these down, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many questions I wish were answered. And I'm also currently writing a Maddie and Diego fanfiction, so I can link that down below if you guys want it. It's going to be like this thing after the show ended where Maddie and Diego go to find other Kanais so that they can prove that Kanais are not extinct, get them out of hiding, and then hopefully make witches and Kanais like not enemies anymore, so that they can be together peacefully, because people are always trying to tear them apart because one's a witch, one's a Kanai, they're not supposed to be together. But they are, because they're in love, and I love them together. They are by far the best ship on Every Which Way. They are my favorite part of Every Which Way, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I love them. But anyways, so let's talk about some unanswered questions. And we're going to start with the question that started this conversation in the group chat. Before we start, I do want to give a shout out to her. Her Twitter name is Jess, and she is amazing. I love talking Every Which Way with her, and especially Diego. And we are always chatting, sending each other clips, talking about what we love and stuff. And I love it. No one else talks about Diego with me like she does. And this was her video, so giving her a shout out. So the first question, which is what sparked this whole conversation and this video, is Everglades Mia a Kanai? So, as we know, at the end of season 3, when Emma chose Jax, it created this surge of power, and then Daniel ended up being disappeared, and nobody remembers him except for her, Emma. And when they finally find him, he's in the Everglades, and he has this entire life in the Everglades with his family, as well as Mia. Somehow Mia, that's actually an unanswered question that I never really thought of. But why was Mia a part of that? Like, I get Daniel's family. I get that. But why was Mia and her family part of the surge? Because as you find out later on, her parents are alive in this reality, which they are not in this normal reality. So why was Mia a part of this? It's not like she was even there when this happened. She wasn't there when Emma chose Jax. And she just, I do not get why she was even a part of this. I don't get it. That's an unanswered question that I literally just thought of at this minute. So there you go, another unanswered question. But anyways, and when they go there, they do see a Kanai marking in a stone. So it does imply that there's a possibility that Mia is a Kanai. But the question is asked later on because Mia, when Daniel was telling Mia about this life, Mia asked him if she was a Kanai. And he responds with, if you were, you never told me. Maybe you didn't even know yourself. So they do question it. Because they do bring up the fact that they don't know, but they never actually answer it. Because at the end, they are back in the Everglades, and once again, no one remembers them except Emma, and this time Andy as well. So yeah. So it's still not answered if Mia in the Everglades is even a Kanai. I mean, there was that Kanai stone, but Daniel gives it to Diego, which they end up using to leave to find Kanais at the end of the show. So, like, did it belong to me and her family, or did it belong to somebody else in the Everglades? That is the question. So, it's still unanswered if Mia is a Kanai or not, and I'm kind of curious. I want to know. Okay. So, another thing, because we were talking, what higher power do Kanais follow? I had this idea because we were talking about how Mia is never punished by the Witches Council when she, after everything she did at the end of season 3, Emma's like, she shouldn't be punished because she had a change of heart, and we were talking about that. And it's like, I started thinking, I feel like there's so little that we even know about Kanais, because when Kanais are introduced at the very beginning of the show, Diego finds out he's a Kanai, but he didn't know. And he knows nothing about Kanais. His parents aren't Kanais as far as we know. His sister, too. So it's like, I will bring up that in a minute. But, so my question is, do Kanais have a higher power they have to follow? Like, we know that for Maddie, she's part of the Van Pelt Coven. It's an entire coven. So there's also the leader of the coven, as we see in the Van Pelt reunion episode, because Ursula selected the new leader. They still have to follow the council because they are witches, but at the same time, they also have to follow the leader of their specific coven. So I wonder if that's the same with every witch coven. But with Kanais, we also know that there are different types of markings for different Kanais, so it could be a similar thing. Each marking symbols a different coven of Kanais. Is probably not called coven for them. I don't remember if they mention what it's called, but tribe. I think they say tribe. A tribe of Kanais, because I think Mia and Diego go to different tribes. They have different markings. So my question is, like, does each tribe have a leader and then they follow that tribe? But then, like the Witches Council, do they have a group of Kanais that overpowers every Kanai from every tribe? I started thinking about that, and now I kind of want to know the answer. I feel like there's so little that we know. Like I said, Diego didn't know anything, so he's learning, and we're learning with him. And even though Mia is introduced in season 3, she doesn't give us that much information about Kanais, to be honest. She always thought she was the last one, so she couldn't really give him that much information about much. So, yeah. And then, following what I was just talking about the Witches Council never punishing Kanais, can the Witches Council punish Kanai? Like, if Kanais go deliberately after a few witches, could the Witches Council punish them? Same with if witches decide to go after Kanais. If there was a, council of Kanais, could they punish the witch? You think they wouldn't be able to, because they are, from different worlds, I guess, in a way. A Kanai should be able to be punished by a witch shouldn't be able to be punished by a Kanai. But it makes you wonder, because they did address that at the end of season 3 because the Witches Council wanted to punish her. But Emma said no because of the moment they had inside the video game. So if the Kanais did exist, if they were everywhere just like witches, could the Witches Council punish a Kanai? And how would the Kanais feel about that? And vice versa. And then, what happened to Maddie's dad? Okay, because we get into Emma's mom a lot, especially in the last season. When she she wants to bring her mom back despite repercussions that could happen from it. But they never talk about Maddie's dad ever, never. Sorry, I got interrupted, so I'm back. But so we know that Maddie. So we meet her mom, obviously. Her mom has a really big role. Her mom is one of the powerless witches, like Lily. So she's like born in a witch family, but doesn't have any powers. And we finally meet some of her other relatives when we, during the Van Pelt reunion, 2-part episode. And her name is Maddie Van Pelt. And that's obviously her mom's name because it's her family that they're at, right? It's her coven that she's becoming the leader of in the episode. So she has her mother's name. So it really makes me wonder about her father. Like, who is he? Is he a wizard? Is he mortal? Like, why does Maddie have her mother's maiden name and not her father's name, whatever that is? And it just makes me wonder because they never even mention him. Is he dead? Is he alive? Did he just, abandon them and Maddie has no idea where he is? Or maybe she doesn't even know who her dad is because her mom never told her. And it's like, there's so many questions, so many possibilities. I want to know who Maddie's dad is. Like, seriously. Like, I know Ursula can be a bit much. Did he just leave or did he die? I want to know. Because like I said, like Emma, they mention her mom. Especially in season 4 because they have an entire storyline about it. But they never even so much as mention Maddie's dad. So who is he? Where is he? I want to know. And then there's, so there's Jax's dad's secret. Like, I feel like that turned out to be such a plot hole because there was this whole thing where Jax finds his mom, who's not actually dead. Turns out he has a secret sister he didn't know. His mom ran off with her because she was immortal and she was afraid that her husband was going to try to force her daughter to be this chosen one that she didn't want her to be, and she couldn't take Jax even though she wanted to, blah, blah, blah. That was also a huge storyline in the last season. And her mom turned out to be one of the main villains. His mom. I said her. His mom turned out to be one of the main villains. And it's like, because it turns out that it was all a lie, and Jax's dad was actually the good one who was trying to protect them from her, because she was the one that wanted to turn her children evil and into the chosen ones and whatever. And then at the end, Jax has a good relationship with his dad because of it. And I'm just thinking, I feel like that's a huge plot hole. Because in season 2, we don't even actually physically see his dad until the last season. But in season 2, we hear his voice and we see Jax like talking to him on the phone and stuff. And it's like, his dad wanted him to go after Emma. Okay, he was evil. He was an awful father trying to force him to do something that he clearly didn't actually want to do. And it's like, so if that's the case, then why was he all of a sudden like the good one, the innocent one, the one who didn't want any of this, the one who was trying to protect his kids when he was never trying to protect his son in season 2? I don't think we hear anything about him in season 3 if I recall. But I don't get it. Like, I feel like that's a major plot hole. Because all of a sudden he's the good one trying to protect his kids from his awful wife who wants to turn them into like the most powerful witches, whatever. When in season 2, that was him, not her. So I have so many questions. I totally forgot about half of that storyline when I was rewatching season 4. I was like, oh yeah. Like, I remembered that he meets his sister because she ends up having because she had this like really funny banter with Andy. So, and I remember like meeting the mom, and I remember about the whole Ursula storyline helping them because I love the Van Pelt episodes. But I just feel like it's a plot hole, and because I didn't actually remember much about the storyline. Like, it turned out that the mom was evil and the dad was actually the good one. Like, I didn't actually remember much of that. But I'm just sitting here watching this like, wasn't he evil 2 seasons ago? What happened? Why is he playing the victim now? Why is he pretending like he's never tried anything? I think they did address that, if I remember correctly. And because Jax made a comment about that, and he was like, I was trying to protect you by making sure you had the power to protect yourself. And I was like, that was such a cop-out of an excuse, okay? Like, no. In season 2, he did not try to protect his son. He wanted his son to be powerful so that he could be powerful, which he was powerful. He had even the witch's castle scared of him. Which also proves that he cannot be that great of a person. If he has the witch's castle afraid of him, then he has to be this scary, evil dude, right? Plus, the whole Van Pelt reunion, which I'm about to explain for another unanswered question. He goes after Maddie. If he's really as good as he's trying to say he is now, even if they did hide her because they believed her, like, they would be a victim of her. Like, it wouldn't be their fault. They didn't know, right? So he still tries to go after a 16, maybe 17-year-old. It's not really clear what their ages are at this point. And, like, at the end of the show, Maddie and Diego leave, so maybe they're 17, they just graduated. I have no idea what their ages are, honestly. But either way, 16, 17, however old she is, a teenager. He's about to go after a teenager to get revenge on her mother who hid his wife and daughter from him. Like, if he's half as good as he's trying to be, why would he go after an innocent teenager who had nothing to do with any of this? Sorry, that part of that storyline just made me mad. I just needed to rant for a bit, so there's my little rant of the day. Let's see if it's only one rant. Probably not. I'm a very ranty person, as I like to call it. Okay. And, Jax's dad turning into, I think it was a ferret. I couldn't get a good eye on what it was. In the Van Pelt reunion, like I explained, he went after Maddie. So Diego decides to use his Kanai powers, revealing to the entire Van Pelt coven that he is a Kanai. Awesome scene. But he makes a block of ice, and his powers bounce off the ice and to him and turns him into some sort of rodent. Looks kind of like a ferret, honestly. So I'm here, standing, like, sitting, like, watching this, and I'm like, okay, so he's out of the picture, right? Then the next episode, he's back in the human form. What happened? Can he turn himself back into a human form? It never explains, because he was a ferret. I'm not entirely sure if he was a ferret, but I'm just going to go with ferret, because I don't know what he was. But it made me a little, like, confused, because I was like, he was a ferret 5 minutes ago. How is he back into a man? Like, I doubt Jax still thought he was the bad one. At this point, he wouldn't have helped him. So, like, why? I want to know. But I don't have the answers. Which is why these are unanswered questions. I have 2 more. The last one I'm saving... Oh, no, 3 more. The last 2 kind of go together, and I'm saving that for last because those have been a major question in the Miego group chat since we created it, okay? It's always been something I've been curious about. But anyways, Kanai lore and powers. I'm not going to get too much into this because I explained it a little bit earlier how, you know, because Diego didn't know he was Kanai and just found out, and Mia didn't give us much information. We don't know that much about Kanais, and their powers are a little confusing because when you first meet Kanais, they told you that they control the elements, okay? And there are so many things that they do that is not the elements. You think the elements would be like what? Wind, water, which could include like stuff like ice, fire, and earth, right? But we never see him do anything with earth. I just realized this. That would have been cool to see. But they never showed us that. That's a little upsetting. But there was a scene when he ended up creating fireworks with his powers, which is a little bit of a stretch, but it's not too far outreach to possibly be an element. But then there was the episode where he started fusing into a couch and a chair, and it's like, how is that an element? And he also created a portal, because that was a great storyline, because I loved him, like, create Maddie going in to save the cancel from Limbo, and then him freaking out trying to open the portal back and get her out because she gets trapped between Limbo and here. She's trapped forever. Great storyline, great content for Miego. One of my favorite episodes. But the powers don't make sense because how can he create a portal if he only supposed to be able to create the elements. Plus, Mia, when you meet her, she's able to do some weird stuff that's definitely not elements. Like she shapeshifted into Emma. She also was able to use her little spider kunai marking to go onto Daniel and made him and mind controlled him. Literally was mind controlling him. He was a completely different person. So they literally tell you when you first meet Diego that kunais can control the elements. Does any of that sound like elements? Because they do not. So why? That's something I never actually thought about until Jess made that comment when we were talking about unanswered questions. I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Like, why can he do all this? Why can Mia do all this? That's not the elements. Like, there's some things like ice and snow, they go with water, so it's understandable why he can do them. Fireworks, a bit of a stretch, but still more understandable than portals, fusing into things, shapeshifting, and mind control. Those two are the most outrageous of anything, okay? Shapeshifting and mind control. He can do that. How? I would like to know. Creators of Every Which Way, please email me and tell me how. Anyways, moving on. Okay, last two. Like I said, these two go together. One is Diego adopted, and two, where are Diego's parents? Okay, I'll get with where are Diego's parents first because he is a teenager who goes to school, who's over at Maddie's, who does teenage things. But every time he's not at Maddie's house or at school, he's at the 7, which is what his parents own. And him and Gigi are always running it. You never actually meet his parents. Ever. You never see them. Like, yeah, they might mention them, like, when Diego and Maddie were broken up for an episode, or, like, half an episode. They were only broken up for, like, half an episode. Like, they cannot stay away from each other. I love that for them. But he got annoyed with Gigi and finds out that she hacked him, and then he threatened to tell their parents. So, like, they are mentioned here and there, but they're never seen. So, and like during season 3, when it was summer, and there was the Beachside 7, which was part of the whole 7 chain, I guess, and he was running it. And Gigi worked there, but he was running it, and it's like, where are the parents? Like, when he's at 7 all the time, like, where are they? Where are they? I want to know. Like, why are 2 teenagers running a store? Like, I get, like, sometimes leaving Diego in charge because Diego is responsible while they have to go do something real quick. But, like, why is he literally always in charge of the store? Like, do the parents ever go there? Like, are they there while he's at school, or they just decide to close down until he's there so they don't have to do anything? That's probably not it, but that's what went through my mind, so. And then the other one is Diego adopted? Because Mia's parents were Kanais. And as we know, Kanais run through the bloodline. And they mentioned that because before Mia was introduced, they thought Diego was the last living Kanai. So they said that Diego must be like a relative of the last living Kanai, which kind of implies that he is adopted. But also, apparently, which I did not know this until just mentioned it in the group chat, but in the wiki, it says that Diego and Gigi are twins, which is never stated, and I also do not see that, like, at all, because they definitely have this big brother or younger sister vibe about them, okay? He's always in charge of, like, the 7 and stuff. First of all, he's more responsible, there is that. But also, like, the way she's always annoying him, and he's always, like, bossing her around and taking, like, this, he just takes this older brother vibe, and she has this younger sister vibe. So I don't see them as twins. And also, if they were twins, if they were both adopted, then Gigi would be a Kanai too. But she's obviously not, because she would have discovered her powers probably around the same time Diego did, if she was a Kanai, which she is not. Good thing, because she cannot keep a secret. Every time she found out that, like, Maddie was a witch, she tried to block it until Maddie wiped her memory. But, yeah. So, but I just don't get it. Like, that was a question that we've been talking about for years. And it's like, So, is Diego adopted? I want to know. Because I have no idea. Like, it kind of implied it when they said that he must be a descendant of, like, the last living Kanai family. So, that kind of implies, in my opinion, that he might be adopted. Because it runs through bloodlines. And I don't buy the whole him and Gigi being twins, because that would make Gigi a Kanai too, if she was also adopted. So, questions. But yeah, that is my last unanswered question for the moment. If you have any more that you feel like are unanswered questions, please comment below. Maybe I could do a part 2 if there's enough, and if not, maybe I could do at least a little YouTube shorts and talk about the next ones you guys have. So definitely let me know if you think there's anything else that I should have added, and we'll chat below in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will chat with you guys next time.